Somebody's just said to me, I didn't give any examples in that last little thing that I said about behaviour modification. I'll give one example now. You'll often hear people talking about Karens on and that they've never had a smack in the face. What they mean is that their behaviour has never been modified by some sort of moderating influence. So in other words, had somebody done that activity to them, they wouldn't now be giving you grief because they would understand the action and reaction, which is really what behaviour modification is. When I call it operant conditioning, then another example I always used to give when I used to teach it is to say, okay, you walk into a bar, you catch the eye of a pretty young lady or gentleman, whatever your persuasion is, over there, and you smile at them and they smile back at you and yeah, enjoying your little drink, and then you catch their eye again and they smile at you again. So you go over and do you come here often? Whatever line, a cheesy one to use or anything. You start talking, you start having a bit of a dialogue. You can actually do it in Tesco's, just hit the biscuit out, anything. That's how you talk to people. But this is what we do. The second scenario, walk into the bar, look at the lady, smile at her, and she goes, yeah, you don't smile at her again, do you? Because she's modified your behaviour. So what you have is, you have the stimulus, which was the smile, the response, which is, oh, you're smiling back. And then the next stimulus is that I go over, the next response is we start talking. This is stimulus response. The second one, the stimulus was, it's me smiling, the response was, she looks me up and down like I'm a piece of shit, so I don't do anything again. This is what has been broken down in society. There is no appropriate response being made. So people break into your house, the police may not arrive. In the olden days they would hunt that person down, and you would then, the response for them is that you end up in court, possibly end up in jail or something. But once you remove that, you end up with people being pushed onto railway lines in New York. And what? Why isn't somebody beating 10 bails out of that guy who's just done it? Because they fear the response that they will get. Because it's in Britain, we're now having this thing called two-tier policing. I call it no policing whatsoever versus ultra-policing. But if you treat people differently, if you give one set of society a set of rules that mean they get a pass. So, for example, if you say that you can pick on a guy but you can't pick on a woman, if you say you can pick on a white guy but you can't pick on a black guy because you've got legislation there, it is of course going to be abused by the side who you've given the power to. In a realistic society that implements these things correctly, everyone suffers the same consequences for the same actions and the same reactions. And that would seem appropriate to the functioning of a decent society. If you want to break down that society, you see what we see now. When we talk about the elites doing certain things, they are causing this breakdown in society by bringing division. They bring division by altering that behaviour and the response, that normal interchange. And this is what I say when I say behaviour modification can be used to really evil ends, because that's what we're seeing now.